Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas here with another review. I had the great honor of seeing the legendary The Who last night here in Las Vegas. The show was at the Dolby Live Theater at the Park MGM, which used to be Monte Carlo. I've had a lot of ups and downs with this theater. I'll just say it quickly. I've gone into my reviews. If you're going to go to this theater, you're better off going to a higher level and being in the middle. There's something weird about this theater. When you're over to the right and left, if you're over too far, you have a really bad view of the stage, in my opinion. So, quick little point, if you're going to see a show at this theater, stick dead center. You're better off going up to levels 2, 3, or 4 if you have to. That's what I did, and it worked out great. So, The Who, this is the last show of their current tour, which is always cool. I always think whenever I see people on their last shows, I feel they give it a little bit more. Especially these older guys. I think they're happy. I think they're done. I think when you're 78, 80 years old, and you're embarking on a big tour, I think there's some level in your side of your head is, can I do this? Do I still got it? Do I still got it physically? Do I still got it vocally? And I think when these guys get to the end of their tour, there's this like sense of, number one, like relief, like holy shit, we did it and nobody died. And number two, there's a sense of like, fuck yeah, I still got it, man. I can still bring it. I'm 80 years old and I can still rock better than most young bands. And that was 100% accurate about last night. The thing I kept thinking the whole time is this is just a big fucking loud rock show. Not in a loud, like obnoxious way. In the sound. They had an orchestra on this tour. I think it was the whole tour they had the orchestra with. And it added such a level of power to these songs that were already powerful. It was awesome. And being in a theater like this, which was Dolby Live, which Dolby's a sound company, I imagine they have excellent sound systems. And because I was dead center, I think we got the full brunt of how good the sound can be in a place like this. And man, there was probably 50 people on stage. There was orchestra all over the stage. They looked great. They sounded great. Man, it's just you just feel like I cannot believe it's the end of 2022 and I still get to see The Who live. It's fucking incredible. And Roger sounds great. He sounds aged. He sounds like, seasoned, like a skillet or something. Like he has this he can still hit the notes. He can still move to the best of his ability. He still got it. So basically what they did with this show was they broke it into 3 sections. They did 9 songs with the orchestra. Then the orchestra left. They did 5 songs? Well, 6 songs? 6 songs with just the band. And then the orchestra came back on and they closed it out with another 6 songs. So that was kind of the structure, but it worked. It worked really well. I'll get into the set list. But again, the what I took away from this show, other than The Who, is just fucking incredible. And if you're listening to this, you already know that. I don't have to explain it. They don't have to prove anything to anybody. Like I said, just awesome to see them. But the big takeaway I had from this show was just big fucking show. Big fucking show. I kept saying that. Like it just felt so powerful. There was so much power coming off of that stage, and it just rocked. Everybody was just loving it. You could see the crowd just smiling ear to ear. But okay, so they start with just an overture, like this orchestra kind of overture. Go into 1921, Amazing Journey, Sparks. Then they get into Pinball Wizard. Then We're Not Gonna Take It, and then Who Are You, and Eminence Front, and then Ball and Chain. So perfect little set list where they sprinkle in some hits and a couple other deep cuts, but the hits were sprinkled in throughout the show, and it was great. So then the orchestra left. Then it was just the band. They started with You Better You Bet, which I love that song, man. I think that's one of their most underrated songs. I know it's not underrated because it's a hit, but I don't know. People don't talk about that the way they talk about some of the other hits. I love that song. The Seeker, awesome. Naked Eye, Another Tricky Day, Won't Get Fooled Again. That was watching him. I didn't know if he'd be able to hit some of those screams, and he just killed it. It was so good. It was so good, man. It just rocked. There's not words for it. I mean, it's just this fucking rock show, man, by a rock and roll band, a real legit authentic rock and roll band. They don't make them like this anymore, and it's a shame. It's a shame. So again, goes back to like this feeling of I feel honored to see them. I don't know if you're going to get a chance. Every time you see them, you're like, this is the last of their tour. I mean, by the time they go home, relax, maybe try to write some new music, maybe not, start talking about another tour, that's another year or two. I mean, I don't know how much longer these guys have. So just go see them if you go. Not anymore because they're gone. But if you have a chance to see any band that's aging like this, you got to go see them. Then they went into Behind Blue Eyes, which was so good. Orchestra came back on, did The Real Me, awesome. I'm One, 1550, The Rock. And then it was just this awesome thing right around here. They just did this instrumental, and they had like this on the screens. They kind of went through history, all these video clips, starting back in, I think it was JFK. They started maybe down there, World War II-ish, and it just went through all these events in history. And I don't know, it was just done so well. It was so powerful. It was so moving. It was honestly moving. You know, that's where they really shined with that orchestra right there. I mean, it was just, nobody was singing. It was just this powerful. And then it went right into Love Reign Over Me, which that also is, God, Roger's so good on that song. It's such a dramatic, it's emotional, it's powerful. It was such, that's when the show, I mean, up until then I was loving it. That was the moment where I was like, this is something incredible. This is something that can't be replicated by other bands. You know, not only do they have the songs to back up the talent, and they got it all. They got the performance, they got the songs, and they throw an orchestra in there. It takes it to a whole nother level. And then they went right from Love Reign Over Me right into Baba O'Reilly to close it out. And I don't think you can close out a show with a song better than that. You just can't. Especially with the orchestra, especially with the whole violin part and shit, you know. And man, what a show! There's not much to say. It's just awesome. And anybody who saw it, I don't think it's humanly possible to see that show and not walk out of there. I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you don't like rock and roll and you're just into rap or something. I took someone with me. She wasn't so into classic rock. She knows the hits, but I mean, everybody, you just walk out of there in awe. You just know that you just saw something incredible, and that's how you do a motherfucking concert. That's how you do a fucking show. Every show, you pray that you walk out of there just changed as an experience. That's the right word. That's the word I've been looking for. Seeing The Who, especially with the orchestra, I've seen them before, and I don't know, this one seemed to be the best one for me. I think it was the orchestra. The orchestra made it an experience. It made it so powerful and so dramatic, and it took their music up a notch, and I didn't even know that was possible, and they did it. So for that, I'm giving this show a 9.6 out of 10. It doesn't get much better than that, and it was awesome, and I absolutely loved it. I'm upset I did not go Friday night because I probably would have ran and gone Saturday night again. I probably would have gone to both nights if I had known it would be that good. So it was. Thank you guys, Roger, Pete, all you guys, just awesome. Just fucking awesome. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, leave your comments. I'm pretty sure all the comments will be positive. I can't imagine anybody at this show that didn't absolutely love it the way we did. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, and I will see you at the next show. Take care. Bye-bye now.